Hi, welcome to our next unit on themes and literary devices. A theme is the general, universal message that a story or book gives the reader. Now, the author doesn't always tell us the theme of the story. For example, you could look at a famous story like Twilight. Well, what's it about? Well, Twilight could be about a girl who goes to high school and meets a guy who ends up being a vampire. Now, that's what the story's about. But the theme of Twilight could be something like death or the ability to not die. And maybe her story deals with this idea of death. So theme and what the story is about are two separate things. And as a reader, you need to be able to pull out from a story not only what the story is about, but you must also be able to discuss the general message that that story is trying to give us. It seems abstract, I know. But that's why we're here. We're here to learn how to pull out these themes. Now, it helps if we can know what a lot of the themes are, and that's what you're going to be doing this week, is looking at examples of themes. Then once we have that in our toolbox, we can then look at a story and determine which one of those themes might apply. Now, there's great debate over how many themes there are. Some say there's 7, some say 20, some say 40, some say it's infinite. So I tried to come up with an in-between, and I have a list of 32 themes that you're going to memorize for this week and the next week and the next week. Why memorize the themes? Because when you're faced with a story, you should have in your mind all the different possibilities that might exist so that you as a writer and a reader can have the proper vocabulary to pull the themes out of any story. So there's 2 activities you're going to do this week. The first thing is, let's go ahead and look down. The first thing is you're going to look at the list of themes on the course website. You can download or view the list if you'd like. Let's see what that looks like. As you can see, you can easily print this page out for yourself, but the list is also here. Now, you're going to take these themes and you're going to memorize them. You only need to memorize the word. You do not have to memorize the definition, for now at least. So try to get these 32 words committed to memory. The list is in alphabetical order. You do not have to memorize them in order. But sometimes having some kind of order will help in the memorization process. The second thing you need to do is do the project, which I call the theme gallery. To do that, you're going to complete 32 slides, 1 slide for each theme. I already got it started for you. What you need to do is download the slides. So those of you using PowerPoint, this is what you'll do. Go ahead and download the slides. They'll download to your computer. You'll open them up. And you see they're rather plain, kind of boring. I did that on purpose so you can spice them up how you want. So on the first slide, you're going to put your name, first and last name, and the period 2 there. And then for each theme, you're basically going to come up with a picture and a couple of sentences that match the theme. So, for example, for death, I might say Twilight. We'll say the novel. Why? I need about 1 or 2 sentences to describe how does Twilight deal with death. I'll say the main character wants to be immortal, but the cost of escaping death is too high. Okay, so you see in my description, I didn't really tell you much about the story. What I did instead is connect the story to the theme. So a lot of you've seen tons of movies, you've read books, you've played lots of video games. It's time to put that to work. So you're just going to go through each slide and do that. Now the next thing I want to do is add some kind of image. So I'll just have to go on the internet and find myself a picture here. That looks good enough for me. And we'll go ahead and put that there. Okay, so then you can change the colors of your slide or do whatever you want to do. But basically, that's all you need to do for each slide. Come up with an image and a description matching the media to the theme. And you're going to do that for every slide. Now, when you're done with that, go ahead and save. Now, when you save your presentation, please do not leave it this way. You need to put your name. So I'm going to put Trebek Alex, that's our example student, and everything else we can leave by itself, and go ahead and save it. Okay, once it's saved to your computer, we need to upload it to Google Docs. So I'm going to make sure I'm signed in. After you've signed in, go to your Documents page, select Upload, File. Here is my file that we created. And I'm going to select Open. This new dialog box comes up. Uncheck this box because we do not want to convert it. And say Start Upload. You'll get a confirmation here at the top. And then remember that last step, it's so important. You got to take this file, click and drag into your shared collection. And you'll see this label right here, right next to it. This label tells you that it's shared now. Okay. These directions are for those of you not using PowerPoint. So if you're at home, you don't have PowerPoint, but you have the internet. Okay, so once you're logged in, you're going to see under Documents that you have a file here called Theme Gallery last name underscore first name P2. Again, this is for those of you who are not using PowerPoint. Go ahead and click on it, and what's going to happen is you're going to get a bunch of these blank slides, but you'll be unable to make any changes. So what you need to do is make a copy of this so you can make changes. So come down here to the bottom, click on Actions, and then create a copy. Alright, so we can close this one. We now have a copy of that presentation, and we can now make any kind of changes we need. We can add images, and you might see these funny little symbols. Don't worry about those. They won't be on the final slideshow. But go ahead and add your images and your text like you normally would. Now, one important thing is you've got to change the title. So you don't want it to say Copy of Theme Gallery. Let's get rid of the copy of. Get rid of that. And then go ahead and put in your last name underscore first name. So I'm just going to do a backspace here. Trebek underscore Alex. Okay. Alright, so we've renamed it. And we're going to go ahead and make some changes to it. You can change the backgrounds, do whatever that you want to do here. When we're all done with our presentation, go back to your Google Docs. Okay, so now you see, here's the one we made because it has our name on it, and you're going to click and drag that into your personal collection. And now that will be shared with Mr. Wood. And you know that because you see the little label here on the side and it says shared. So that's for non-PowerPoint users. So we have something for everybody here. Good luck. I look forward to seeing your slides.